Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Trout Museum of Art. Today for our TMA talk, we're going to talk about commissioning artwork. And visiting with us here today, we have Amy Carani. We love Amy, and Amy has her BFA in illustration from Northern Illinois University. And she lives and works as an artist here in Monroe, Wisconsin. Welcome, Amy. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. So the reason why we're talking about commissioning today is that we're doing an exhibition called Made to Order, which is made up of just that, commissioned artworks. So there's about 50 artworks that were commissioned by a variety of artists from around the state of Wisconsin. And for people that didn't commission artwork, they may wonder, like, well, how do I get involved? How do I do something like this? Because you know, it might be a little intimidating. So we want to demystify what that seems like. So Amy and I are going to chat because my family commissioned a piece from Amy for the exhibition that we have here at the Trout Museum of Art. The exhibit's on through November 1st. And so we're just going to chat a little bit about commissioning. So,
all right.
Amy, so how do people typically find you as an artist for a commission? I mean, besides when they come as part of the Trout Museum of Art's commissioning project?
Typically, people would find me through an art fair setting or an additional gallery setting if there was an opening, or the web or various social medias. People can contact me pretty much anywhere.
And do they usually email you, or they just come up to you and talk?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds like it'd be fun. So what is the approach that you use to communicating with the buyer when you're setting up the commission to start with?
We talk about what you would like to have done. I ask what size. We discuss pricing. And then if they want to know more or continue forward, then more email conversations or more verbal conversations happen.
Yeah.
But that's typically how it starts.
Yeah. And when you and I did it, we started with an email ourselves. And like, if you look behind Amy, everyone, that's a lot of Amy's work. So you can see that she has different sort of patterns that have a lot of geometric shapes, and so you can have more of a circle type or more of so talk about how that works, because you can really see a ton of your artwork right on your video.
Yes, absolutely. Another question that I ask is, do you want multiple panels? Like, here's an example of 2 canvases, and then behind me I have 3 canvases down below as another option. So we talk about that sort of thing, size, dominant circle patterns or strict rigid patterns, or a nice combo of both. There's another rigid one right here, the gray one. So yeah, that's typically how the conversation starts, along with, do you want me to interpret a song? Like the piece with the moon is Dream Police by Cheap Trick, if you like Cheap Trick. I interpreted that song, and then Mr. Blue Sky right here. I just love music. And then sometimes people ask me to interpret a personal story for commissions. So we can go anywhere.
That sounds really cool. What happens if I'm one of those people that, like we were, where I'm like, I really like you to do something will look good with my wallpaper or my carpet? Do you do that type of thing too?
Absolutely. And actually, this is a study, the 3 purple pieces. That's a study for a larger commission. That was 3 36-inch canvases. And it had to patch some purple colors to the other side of the room. So I think I've done it all.
So artist decoration is still alive and well, right?
Yes, it's okay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. We all do it as much as there's things that I love to have in the museum. There's also other things that I want to have in my bedroom or my living room, right? And so those are, art serves a lot of purposes.
Absolutely.
So what happens if an artist, you know, if someone who's a commissioner comes to you and says, you know, I want you to do something that has nothing to do with like your artistic style or goals. Like, how do you handle that conversation? Because that might be awkward.
Oh, it can be, but I just politely decline the offer. I always thank them, you know, for even thinking of me for their project of what they have in mind. But I just say, oh, I don't think it's a good fit. You know, there's lots of other artists out there that might be able to do it. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with saying no.
Yeah, so for the artist to know, there's nothing wrong with saying no, and for the commissioner to know is that you should be looking at the artist and imagining your commission in the style or their philosophy, their thinking about art, because you're not going to ask an artist to do something that is totally different than what their artwork actually looks like. So people need to keep that in mind if they want to commission an artist.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so I think that a lot of people, they're just intimidated by artists. So what do you do to make them feel comfortable? And I know artists always say like they think that's crazy that someone's intimidated by them, but I think that they do feel that way.
Yes, we're human, you know, we're human with abilities, maybe superheroes, I don't know, but that would be cool. But yeah, I just, you know, it's calm people down and say, hey, let's do this, you know, and I talk to everybody like my friends, so because that's how I would want to be treated.
Yeah, and I think I think that's how commissioners should approach it too. They should treat the artist like they would their friend, and not you know, and have, you know, that sort of friendly conversation with them. I think that's always a good start. Well, I think that's a good start in life probably too, not just in commissioning artwork, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So tell me about pricing, because I know that that's always a tricky subject matter for people when they're commissioning, because they're afraid they can't afford it or whatever. And I know that you have a unique pricing structure, and so share that with us.
Well, many moons ago, I figured out a way to make life easy, because I think that's best. Simply, my pricing structure is per square foot. I have a price per square foot, and that's how I charge for all my paintings. It doesn't matter how many colors I use, doesn't matter the subject, doesn't matter how much research I have to put into a project. I just have a flat rate of $500 per square foot. That works for me. So then I don't have to count materials, because I pretty much know consistent price structures, and I don't have to calculate time, because I know that price structure works for me and I'm satisfied with that. And as I said, I don't care if it takes 6 months, as long as the results are great with everybody. So.
Well, that sounds awesome, and really understandable to most commissioners, I would imagine. Not every artist does that, but I think that the commissioner and the artist shouldn't be afraid to talk about money, because there has to be a fit there in order for someone to commission.
Absolutely, and it's straightforward. There's no hemming and hawing in the conversation to be like, well, that used cadmium yellow. That's like $50 a tub, you know. No, you just make it simple, make it nice and neat, and then everybody's happy, and then that's less math.
So I would imagine that sometimes in the commissioning process, things don't go quite as smoothly as you or the commissioner might have hoped. So like, what are some tips that you can give to artists and commissioners about troubleshooting once you're kind of down the road into the conversation?
Well, I try to ask as many questions as I can from the beginning to kind of weed through some of those possible trouble spots, so we don't have to kind of put things on hold. Um, it helps to ask, yes, do you want more structure? Do you want more circles? Do you want a combo of both colors? What works for you? Subject matter. I guess that helps to just have all that solved. And I help solve things even further by doing actual painting mini studies of the final piece before we even go to the final big size. For example, for the purple ones down below, this is an actual sample. There was another set that I actually had different color studies and brought them to the client's home to say, will this work for colors? Because I was to have this on a green wall. So I wanted to make sure things were great before we went big. So I try to have all those problems done at the beginning so that there's no further troubleshooting, or questions when the final painting starts. So basically when the final painting starts, all of those problems are solved.
Yeah, when we did the commission, you gave us like three color. We kind of said we'd like it to go. It's going to go near this wallpaper and include a little bit of that color in it. And then you gave us like three options. It wasn't like 10, so it wasn't overwhelming. And then we picked the one we liked the best. And then you showed us the mini study of that. What do you do with the mini studies? I'm curious now that you said you do them for every piece. Like, what happens to those?
Well, some of them are given to the client, but otherwise I do keep them as well. Yeah, sometimes people want to also buy the studies like at an art fair, but I do several of these during the process, so at least one gets to the client as an additional gift. So
that feels good. So I feel really good about the fact that I got my big piece, but then I got the study of it too. It's like the little bonus so that probably makes them feel really good.
Yes, yes. I just started doing those a long time ago. It's on watercolor paper for the studies, and it just works out really well so that you can really see the paint before you begin. But if it's a larger painting, then I do like the 12-inch size for the studies.
It's interesting. So when we did our commissioning project here at the museum, we created contracts. So because we were kind of a broker between the artists and the commissioner, and we created like a 2 or 3 contract because we wanted everyone clear that it needed to be done before we had this exhibit and when the artwork had to be at the museum for the exhibit, and just making sure that the artists understood how much they were getting paid and the commissioner knew how much they owed us and when. And so those details were all ironed out in the contract. And I know that you use a different contract system. Can you tell us about what you do? Because it doesn't have to be a 3-page contract. It could be something else. But everyone needs to know the deal, like what's going on here, who's doing what when, so no one is disappointed or caught by surprise, I would imagine.
Absolutely. My contract system is basically the emails, because in black and white it will state, do you want me to continue? But I spell everything out from the beginning. I spell out my expectations of, good communication, to questions, and what you have in mind. And when I send you a sample, good communication on, does this look okay? Where should we go? And then for me, also to have a good idea on time frame, to let the client know, okay, how long is this going to be? And I don't overextend yourself on due times. Be good with your time frames. And then for me, I communicate payment. For me, payment is at the end, right before delivery. So just to make sure everybody's happy in the end. And if the client's not happy in the end, then we'll keep going. It's, you know, I'm kind of strange about that part, but typically, yes, 50% upfront and 50% at the end is normal, but I know mine's not normal.
But it works for you. Do you have
it works for me.
Yeah. Do you have any contract do's and don'ts that might be helpful for other artists?
As a professional artist, always have a solid idea on how long it takes you to do your paintings of said sizes, and don't set yourself up for unachievable goals or unachievable expectations. So yeah, follow the contract and then just make everything realistic for goals.
How do you approach like the kind of the confidentiality on a commissioned work when you have like these little mini ones and some other materials that you may have collected along the way? Like what's typical? How would you handle that information?
Correct. I keep everything private. When it's a commission based, just like when I was doing graphic design freelance, everything's confidential in my opinion. I don't feel it's right to go ahead and publish your commission as you're working on it or when you're done without the client's knowledge. I feel that it's up to them to publish and be public about having a commission completed by me. I just feel that's the ethical thing to do. And so one exact commission that I've done that is totally public by the client is this piece right here. I made a sign of it so you can see an example of an exact commission final product. Like even this sample back here, the purple ones, there was a lot of changes to it. But this is an exact one. It's called Midnight Strikes. The theme, the project was Cinderella. I had to do 4 Disney princesses, and this is actually the exact size. Yes, I keep everything confidential until the client says, no, keep it private for sure, but that's just me. I keep things private, but it's up to them to say, hey, it's public. So
when like an example of, hey, it's public, would that be like, hey, they posted on Instagram and you saw that they posted on Instagram, so then you could like it and say, hey, here it is,
Yes.
So once they've done it on social media, that would be enough.
Yes, and absolutely. And in this case, they were all Christmas gifts, so I really couldn't say anything. So I also asked that, are these gifts?
Well, I'm digging on that one. So I like the clock and the staircases coming down. The Cinderella runs down or whatever, right?
Yes, absolutely. So there's the clock, the moon, and this is her dress right here with, the sashes, I think, and then abstract pumpkin. Stairs. That movie, there are so many stairs. It's amazing. And then here's the bridge, and then Mickey Mouse ears right here, abstract. So Mickey Mouse head in here, and then
oh my God, I didn't see that.
The glass slipper right here.
That's great. So, that's really interesting. I'm glad you explained that. It makes me see that there's a lot more going on in a lot of your works that is inside to whatever someone wants, and not necessarily, when I just look at it I don't know if I would have known it was Cinderella, but if it was in a show and the title of it was Cinderella, then I could have made that connection.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was fun. A project doing the 4 Disney princesses.
So what's your philosophy on multiples or prints? Do you ever redo something for someone else, or would you do prints of something that was a commission if they gave you permission? Like, how do you handle all that stuff?
I don't make prints, ever. I don't like prints. I don't like, at this moment in time, until Target tells me, hey, let's do prints, then maybe. But for me right now, I don't like prints. I just like my paintings, my work to be one of a kind. However, that being said, if the client that commissions me to do a painting, and if they want to have the image on, let's say, Christmas cards, I would probably give permission for that. That's fine. But if they were making prints and they were selling them, no. I just don't like prints. However, here's the other side of me. I love reproductions of mugs, my work. I love on tote bags. I love my work on shoes even. I have shoes. That being said, even if you commission me to do a piece and you want your painting on products, sure, let's do it, because I love to multitask. I love the multi-use purpose of my work on items. So that being said, if you wanted me to just do an image for the sole purpose of swag, then I would treat that as like a graphic design project, and then we would go from there. And in most cases, there would be no painting as an end result. It would just be like a digital painting and then swag away, you know? That's how I would approach it.
That's awesome. So prints, boo, swag, yay. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
But I think everyone's different, and artists can make their own thing, right?
Yes.
I was just saying everyone's different. Artists can do, whatever they want to do in order to sell their work, right? And there's lots of opportunities, and you're just showing us a bunch of ways that artists could go.
Right.
That's really cool. And people don't even probably think about it too. I have a painting and I definitely want a dozen mugs that match the painting in my house. Like I could see doing that.
Right?
I might even do that. That sounds like a Christmas gift that's coming up for me, for the family.
Keep me posted.
All right, I will.
That'd be fun.
So how does copyright work for you as an artist when you're commissioning work, and what should commissioners know and understand about copyright?
I will always retain the copyright. So yes, the buyer, the commissioner, they cannot make prints of, they can't make prints of their painting. They can't sell that image in a reproduction form. That's just a huge no-no. But if they write to me and say, hey, we would love to have that painting that you did on our family reunion t-shirts or something, great, I will give you permission to do that. That's fine. But just be respectful. Just because you own the painting doesn't mean that you have the right to make reproductions of it.
Would you be open to selling the copyright to someone who said, I love my painting and I want to be able to make mugs of that? Would you sell the copyright to them for a fee?
I would probably just make up a small contract to have a polite agreement that you can do that as long as you're not making money off of that image. So I think I would license it out in that respect. as long as no one is making money off of that. But if you wanted to make money off of it, that would be a different contract and then a different agreement, and then we can talk, you know, as if Target called, then that would be a whole nother conversation on a corporate level.
Yeah, and so we would be open to it, but it would be something that would, you know, they would have to pay for.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
So what do you do? It sounds like we've talked a little bit about what you kind of do to make people happy, like gifting them a small version of their piece. Like, what are other things that you do to make sure that the artist is kind of comes along with you on the journey and is happy with their final product?
Well, yes, I have my thank you gifts, my little goodie bags, which I love. And that could be magnets, it could be whatever swag I have around the house, in addition to a mini painting study. And then I just maintain contact with the people that commission my work and keep them posted on things that I'm doing, projects I'm working on. And I'm not spamming people, but they might get a polite postcard in the mail at the end of the year to say, hey, this is what I've been doing. And so people know that these are going places. So that being said, any pieces that you see in the background here, or if you would like to commission me to do a painting, please contact me through amysquarepaints.com. There's a contact form on the website, which will go to my email, and any sales or commissions that result from this video, so please mention the video, I will donate 20% to the Trout Museum of Art.
Cool, and we love you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As always, Amy, it's such a pleasure to see you. Thank you to everyone for listening to this, and come visit us at the Trout Museum of Art. We're open 6 days a week. Everyone's masked up, and we would love to have you come see our exhibition Made to Order. It's on view until November 1st.